Hi there, Karen here, with of course Whiskey Sour. How could I have a video without Whiskey Sour in it, right? At this point in time. Welcome to blog number 56. I'm committed now. At least to 100, right? I really enjoy talking to you guys. I wrote a blog today called How Can We Simplify the Message? Well, I'm probably not the best person to get a simplified message from. I blither on and on and on, and I ramble, and I talk a lot. But just the overall message, I was looking at the life's message, what does it all mean? What is the meaning of life? In my thinking that everyone's belief system is their own, and that every single faith and belief that's out there is possible because we are given the gift of choice. I say this a lot, that we're not robots. I really believe this is the best gift we've ever been given. I've learned to be very tolerant of what anybody believes. Tolerance does not equal agreement. It equals tolerance. Tolerance is just tolerance. It's its own thing. I don't consider this political correctness. Rather, I love people enough to let them choose. I feel that someone loved me enough to let me choose. So the best gift I can give is to let somebody choose. After all, we're very free, and I think we're free to make our own choices. And allowing someone to believe what they want is my way of showing them love. I don't argue beliefs with people, because an argument to me is not love. It's not loving. So it doesn't mean we can't have disagreements and all those things, but I just, to me, there's some things that are not worth arguing about, just not. And a belief system is one of them. That's everyone's choice. You're free, you get to do that. Doesn't mean I have to agree with you, but you're free. So now, also, I do like showing tolerance, but I also like to learn. And I'm big on just, opening my mind to other philosophies and things that are out there. So I read a lot about different cultures and stuff just to practice more tolerance. And I've decided now, at this moment in my life, again, I always say it could change to more because I stay open, but at this point in time in my life, I think wisdom still comes from animals. There was a link that was being passed around, and I just grabbed 3 animals that I was familiar with, and I put my thoughts, for those of you who read this, you might be watching this on YouTube or whatever, but I also posted on Blogger and I posted on MySpace and stuff. As good as the MySpace formatting is, what a junk hole that's become, huh? Hope you can still read it there. I wanted to discuss the dog, the cat, and the horse, just because these are 3 animals that I'm familiar with, and so this article basically is telling us, what we can learn from animals, and I put my thoughts in brackets. For dogs, their first point is heals emotional wounds in humans. I'd like to know how we can learn to do that. This is like, how can I do that? Understanding of the duality of doubt and faith. They encompass balance to me. A dog has a perfect balance between when to doubt and when to have faith. Companionship. They simply love to be around us. If we would notice them more, I really think that, we could really learn how loving they are. Unquestioned loyalty. Now, this is to a fault, I think, but it keeps their character really strong and true, and I find that really admirable. Admirable. Love, of course. Dogs not only love us, but they know what pure love is, and I love that about that. Knowledge of all things sensual, anything that there's senses in the physical realm, I think it's pretty dead on. I don't know if it's just that sniffer, their instinct, but they got a pretty accurate view of what's going on. Protection. Not only do they know when to go into protection mode, but they will protect their humans to the death. And quite often they'll protect other animals that way too. We've seen all these amazing stories about dogs who protect. Ability to smell trouble from a distance. I want this skill. Out of all of them, I think that might be their greatest attribute. Like, how do you smell trouble coming? We know what trouble is when it's in front of us, but how do we see it coming? Move on to the cat. The domestic cat. Their wisdom includes independence. Now, while I think that they can seem a little unbalanced in this respect, because they're so independent, cats who are separated from each other seem to bounce back a little bit easier than whereas dogs, they long for their partners for a really long time. They just mourn them. And there's a lesson in that as well. Seeing the unseen. Night vision. This is something I want. Have you ever seen your kitty stare at something and then you look where they're looking and you don't see anything? There's just nothing there. They will even, if you've previously vacuumed something and then all of a sudden, the next day a piece of lint goes down on the floor or something, they'll notice it immediately as though that's a foreign object that's not supposed to be there. They just see these things and they'll patrol the whole area around it to make sure that, somebody didn't drop that lint in from a spaceship or something. Protection. I would say they do have the ability to protect like a dog does. I would think a cat maybe will protect a greater area rather than stand in front of a human with a sword. So I see this with the kitties in the parking lot that live next door to me here, that it's funny because there's so many strays in Los Angeles, and yet these kitties have protected this lot, the two of them. And it's a big lot, where most lots in Los Angeles you see quite a few cats patrolling, but these two have managed to just secure the entire thing. Next one on the list, love. When it's their time to love, when it's a kitty's time to love, they will love with their whole heart. They maybe don't love as often as dogs do, but when they do, it's like they're trying to crawl inside of you. They just, so much love, just so much affection. They allow us to dream its dreams. This could be a topic all of it on its own and with many interpretations, but I like the idea that it shows us things that we just may have not seen before. Assists in meditation. I have personally entered other realms, get as mystic as I can there, by just petting a cat over and over and over. It's soothing, so soothing. And we've seen this with people who have disabilities and stuff as well, how you take a cat or a dog into them and put them on their knee and they just pet them and they seem relaxed and they seem soothed and they seem more open to dialogue and communication, and that's what I love so much about them. Inability to fight when cornered. Now, I do not like fighting at all. Sometimes in life, I guess you have to, if an intruder comes in your home or whatever the situation is, but I do admire their fearless nature. I think that's pretty cool. The third animal is the horse, and they also put the pony or the Mustang. I've never learned much from a pony. They're just cute, right? But these majestic creatures, boy oh boy. I have many friends on Facebook who have way more experience than maybe even I do with horses, but we did have horses on the farm, so I do have some experience with them as well. Power is the first thing they listed here. When I lived on the farm, we would brush our horses down, and if you've ever taken a hose to the horse, or if you've scrubbed them down, or if you've even just brushed them consistently, you'll know what I mean when I say I was always in awe of how their muscles were just laid out so intricately, which also taught me about just the creation of them and how amazing that was. But I've always been humbled by their power, and I also love that their power is to be admired, not feared. And this is, I think the word power has been really hijacked in our society, where we think that if someone's powerful, we should fear them. And I think that we should be admiring power, and power, if done properly, should be admirable. So I really love that about horses, and to me that's just a really good lesson in proper leadership. Stamina. I also like that their emotions do not interfere with their drive. Endurance. Maybe that's their vegetarian diet. I don't know. They just seem to have an incredible amount of endurance that I really admire as well. Faithfulness. You would think that breaking them would be harder if you've ever tried to break a horse and teach it how to ride and stuff. You'd think it'd be harder just based on how they could trample us anytime they want to. It's pretty cool that they will just wait for us. How many of us do this for our friends? We'll just wait. Just wait for them. And I don't mean wait for a loving relationship or wait to get something from somebody, but just wait until they're ready to talk or whatever it is. They will just wait, and it's so amazing. Freedom to run free. Can you imagine just being set down in a forest, just to live there? Most of us would go into hiding. They will just run full steam, and live very joyously that way. Control of the environment. That seems like a Jedi trick to me. Excuse me. Awareness of power achieved with true cooperation. If you've ever seen a stampede of horses, it's kind of like the analogy of as a single stick we are nothing, but if you wrap us all together in a big bunch, it's really hard to break. It's the same thing with a horse, is they will get together with a lot of horses, and we see elephants do this and zebra do this, and just packs, when you run in packs, and there's such a lesson to be learned from the cooperation that we're seeing with them. Interspecies communication. How can we learn to communicate with people who are not like us and don't speak our language? I think that's all about simplifying the message. When I said how can we simplify the message, I think that's they can really teach us that. Expanding one's own potential abilities. For any of you who have worked, trained, or shown your horses, you'll totally understand what that one means. Friendship and cooperation, and they do it peacefully. That's what I love. They also listed travel, astral travel, and guardian of travelers. All these travel attributes they have certainly have shown me to be fearless, just in exploring and maintaining your stamina throughout. Just go on a horseback ride. Oh, just what an experience. Warns of possible danger. I often wonder how they're able to sense the things they do. They're not sure why something is different in their surroundings, but they just know. And the last one about horses is guide to overcoming obstacles. I was thinking of when our horses used to jump, and any of you guys who have jumped horses, have you ever watched them? They'll run right up to something and then they bail on it, but they don't give up on it. They will turn around and they will try it again, or they'll try it from a different angle, or they'll try it when they're more ready, or they try it when they take a deeper breath, or when they have a better start, or they've just gone and assessed it. They just go up to it and they assess it, and then they'll do it again. So I love reading stuff like this because, of course, you guys know my love for animals. But overall, I would think my favorite thing that animals teach us is to simplify our message to each other and thus making everything less complicated. They managed to survive many years on this earth with some basic communication skills. They seem to have a message of community, which I love, protecting the community, enjoying the community, and showing lots of love in their community and friendship in their community. And I just don't understand why we can't figure this out, why we haven't really come to grips with that. Aren't we supposed to be the dominant species, and I say that loosely. I can't believe it didn't mention napping and all of that. Who better to help you rest than them, right? I signed off with a Thornton Wilder quote, and he said, "The best thing about animals is that they don't talk much." Boy, that makes me makes me feel silly over here talking and talking and talking. But I thought I'd share that with you because I got a lot from that. I thought for a long time, and I'm continuing to think about it, just what they can teach us. And we're so interested in teaching them all the time and abusing them all the time, and we can learn way more from them. So I will sign off today, and of course I will talk to you guys again tomorrow, and hope you have a great Monday and everything's going well, okay? Until next time, from Whiskey Sour Me, you got anything to teach us, Whiskey? Napping. There you go. Rock on.